Okay, so we're here with Eloise Bune of Gracious Eloise. Tell us a little bit about you and what is Gracious Eloise?
So, Gracious Eloise is an idea that I came up with about 2.5 years ago. And as I was writing my wedding thank you notes, I realized there just had to be a better way to write these notes. And I really wanted to do it in my handwriting online. And as I looked online to try and find some handwriting replication software, I realized what was out there wasn't very strong. So I set out to build a really great piece of software. So what Gracious Eloise does is it's a technology company that allows, with a technology called QuillTech, which allows people to fill out a handwriting sample, and we run it through our software, and it looks exactly like your handwriting when online or when printed. And so that hasn't been done. It really mimics all the nuances of your handwriting. So with that, it has a couple different applications. So the first one is going to be the corporate market that we go after. So there's the luxury market, for instance, writes thank you notes after every purchase. So instead of employees sitting down and writing these notes, they're going to use our technology.
So this is
Neiman
Marcus or Bergdorf Goodman.
It's a high-end
high-end retail.
High-end retail.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Got it.
So.
And there was multiple applications.
So there's multiple applications. The luxury market is what we're going to tap first, just because that's where my contacts lie. Yeah. But obviously the bridal market is enormous. That's a $55 billion market in this country, and so I think the plan is to go for that next.
Yeah. And so you're in the process now. You've developed the software. Mm-hmm. You've raised some angel money and are in the process of raising more.
Yep.
How's that going?
It's good. It's been a rough year. Fundraising has not been easy, but I have raised $65,500 to date. I'm looking to get to $250,000. I think I'm going to do that in the next 2 weeks. I hope to close on that money.
Yeah. This is the second tranche you took. You raised $500,000 previously.
I did. I raised $500,000 2 years ago. That allowed me to build the software. Yeah. I spent some money on branding. I don't recommend spending money on branding. Completely waste of money. Yeah. And just don't rent an office space until you have your product ready. 100%. Wasted some money there too. But anyway, so, lessons learned.
Was there any big surprises along the way in terms of either raising the money or building the product?
Things just take longer than you expect them to. You set a timeline, you have a bunch of money, you think it's going to last you X amount of time. Things go off track, and so you really got to bootstrap it.
I think the rule of thumb is twice as much, 3 times as long.
Yeah.
Or twice as, I don't know, one way or the other. Yeah, always takes longer. It's always more expensive than you thought it was going to be.
So my only advice would be just bootstrap it, bootstrap it, bootstrap it.
So you've been at it for 2 years full time?
2 years full time.
So there's lots of highs and lows in those 2 years.
Yeah.
What's the lowest low? And we'll end with the highest high so that you come out here on a high note. Lowest low.
Lowest low is I don't know if I've had a really low low, to be honest. This past 6 months of fundraising has been brutal. I've had so many doors closed in my face, and I never, I have a product, so I just never anticipated it to take so long. So, no, day in and day out is just brutal on your self-esteem. Yeah. So that for me has been an amazing learning experience, extremely humbling. Yeah. So that to me has been.
So it wasn't like a big thud, I guess, of an event that was a low. It was more like a collective. Just collective grind of right?
The grind. Just every day waking up and knowing you've got to get out there and ask people for money, and just finding the strength within you to keep going at it. Yeah. That for me personally is the hardest part.
And your best day in the last 2 years, your highest high or absolute best day?
When a very, very large client said that they wanted to come on and start using Gracious Eloise. I can't reveal the name here today, but an enormously famous brand.
It validates the product.
Validates the product, yeah.
So if you had an audience, which you do, of a bunch of other people like you, what would be, I don't know, the one piece of advice that you learned over the past 2 years that you would want someone not to have to relearn?
First of all, I think if you have a good idea, I think, you know, test your friends, test the market, make sure that, you know, it resonates well with people, and if it does, then go for it. You know, really, don't quit your job. Don't quit your day job. That would be one thing. I quit my day job too early.
Yeah.
But go for it. Really, really go for it. And what was the second part of your question?
Just, you know, the one piece of advice that you would give, which I think was, you know, that's a good one. You know, if you got an idea, go for it. And maybe test it out at nights and weekends before you...
I would definitely recommend that. Yeah, test it out before you really commit to it full time.
And your background, you're not, well, I would say you're not a typical entrepreneur, because maybe there isn't a typical entrepreneur, but you're not from the startup space, you're not necessarily from the technology space.
No.
What's your background?
My background is I was an interior designer. I had a firm here in the city, and that went extremely well, but I had, you know, no prior experience in technology whatsoever. I'm all about interior design, and I have my master's in fine art.
Yeah.
So that's what I know about. I know paintings, I know furniture, I do not know technology, but I...
So would you have, or, you know, assuming you were still in the interior design business, would you use this product to...
Absolutely.
To send your customers?
Absolutely.
So you're selling the dog food and eating it too.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's great. Well, always good luck. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
See, that was easy.